Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. This show is all about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. And speaking of transitions, we have a very special episode today with one of our brand new hosts on our network, I Have Today TV, Catherine Kaufer. And our episode today is titled Surprising Beautiful Ways to Embrace Life Again. And we all go through transitions in our life. And Catherine is one that has taken her life experiences of the transitions that she's been through and turned them around to use her pain as power. And she's helping heal people, in addition to herself, in the most surprising, beautiful ways. So we're going to let her share all about it. You are going to want to stay tuned into this episode because you're just going to love what she does. I love her so much. We're so honored to have her as a host on our network, and you're going to love this too. So if this is your first time here watching I Have Today, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. We're streaming right now on E360 TV, as well as many of the streaming platforms out there, Roku, Hulu, Amazon, Apple. We're also on social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and a variety of other places. Wherever you can find the app E360 TV, that's where we are. Our show broadcasts live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. That is our regular time slot. So make sure you check us out. And if you've been here before, welcome back, my beautiful audience. So great to have you back here. Now, if you prefer to listen to podcasts, we also take this episode and upload it as a podcast on all the podcast platforms. So when you're over there, give us a 5-star rating and a review. We love to read your comments and your feedback. We appreciate it. Okay, so before we bring on Catherine, I just wanted to give you a little update what's been happening here at I Have Today. We are getting ready. We're shifting into the end of summer, beginning of fall, and then it always seems like, it seems like the start of a new year for a lot of people. A lot of people feel like, the summer's been super fun. It's been great, but we tend to go on vacation or relax or get lax on certain things. And then all of a sudden the energy changes and we feel this shift, like this renewed life again as we enter this season. And I know I'm feeling that, and maybe you're feeling that too. And one of the things we want to do at this time when we feel this way is start to explore a deeper, perspective of us about what it is we want. How do we want to be living and feeling every single day? How do we want to maybe end this year? What are some goals and desires and things that we thought maybe we would have accomplished already yet, but we haven't quite done that yet? And so it's a great time to reflect on that. And I know personally for me, I have invested a lot of time over the last decade, but particularly over this last year to 2 years on health and wellness practices, on healing trauma, past pain from my past, trapped emotions. And what's occurred for me has opened up so much. And so one of the things that I'm open to doing is exploring different ways to do this. And that's one of the things that Catherine does, and one of the reasons why I wanted to share her with you today, because the work that she's doing is special and it's different. And she's using equine and pet therapy to help people navigate things in their lives, the changes that are happening, loss, and many other things. And so she's going to talk about that today. And so my 2 words to you always, if you're familiar with my show, is to be open and curious in your life. If you're not living the life of your dreams, stay here and live it in, because you can learn how to live intentionally. Episode after episode is what we bring you. We bring you instant actionable things that you could do in your life right now to start living a better today. And then be open and curious to explore other ways to expand and learn and grow. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So every week on this show, we give you an intention statement. And our intention today is, I have today to embrace life again. I have today to embrace life again. And you do. You have every single day to start fresh and new. Your past is not a predictor of your future. You are the predictor of your future. And so when you can learn to embrace what life is bringing for you, because none of us go through this unscathed. None of us do. We've come here to actually have the experiences. But if you can embrace that and everything that's happening with you, and then embrace life again, whatever life is right now, it's going to be way more fulfilling for you. So one of the things that we do to help you with this intention statement is my team makes these beautiful graphics. And there it is on the screen right now. I have today to embrace life again. And where you can find that is on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. And when you go over to my page at Diane Forster Official, you're going to see on my profile, there's a little button there that says intention statements. This graphic is already there. So when you see that, take a screenshot of it and then use it as your screensaver for the whole week so that every time you look at your phone, you are reminded that you can embrace life again. And it's just a reminder over and over. And everyone we've ever done is over there. So if you like them, scroll around, check them out, and use the other ones that resonate with you as well. So, all right. Well, we're getting ready to bring Catherine into the studio. You're absolutely going to love her. But before we do, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Spifter. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, hey there, Catherine Kaufer. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, it's my pleasure. All right. Well, I'm going to tell the audience a little bit about you. Catherine Kaufer is embracing life again. And her TV show by the same name is a transformative TV show dedicated to empowering women who are facing challenging life transitions. She's the host. She's also a transition expert, minister, along with her animal therapy team, who specialize in personal growth and life transitions. This show that she's just launched on the I Have Today TV network provides actionable advice, heartfelt stories, and practical tools to help women break through barriers and embrace life fully once again, so you have joy and start dreaming again. Oh my gosh, doesn't that sound so good? Well, Catherine, so good to see you. Okay, well, we are going to have a fantastic conversation here, and this is going to be an amazing interview for anyone who's watching. And if you're catching this on the social media platforms, feel free to put comments in there as well. And the first place I want to go with you is, you have a story. So tell our viewers who you are and what you do that I haven't included here. Tell us a little bit more about you and your work.
Oh, wow. The work now or work I've done before? No, the work now, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a realtor by trade. But when my husband was killed in 2015, that totally put me on a different trajectory, right? So I decided that I didn't want to be 10 years later and everyone thinks he just died, right? I wanted to honor him and keep moving. And so I just learned through different ways to be able to heal, move through the grief, and get to the other side and find joy and hope and dream again.
Wow. Well, that you just kind of skated over. So I'm going to, if it's okay, go a little bit deeper. No, it's okay. It's okay.
How deep you want me to get? So, yeah.
No. That was that. I know that what you went through was quite a lot. And let me share with the audience, you know, Catherine is now a host on our television network, I Have Today TV, which is the first and only personal development and transformation TV network. And the reason she's on is because she's very special in what she does. And her story is extraordinary. And she's on her way to impacting millions and millions of women with what she's been through and how she has risen and overcome this and now uses her life this way. So talk a little bit about your husband who passed away. His name was George.
His name was George. Yes.
Yeah.
How
long were you married?
How deep do I get with this one? We were going to be married for 29 years, but I had known him since I was 16 years old. So, and we got married when I was like 22.
Yeah.
So a long time. So the part of the journey was like, I didn't know who I was at 22, right? Like a lot of us don't. So you get married and you kind of like, you know who you are with him, but you're not really sure who you are without. And so that had been a long journey, and he was a very good man. And he was on a bicycle ride. He was an avid cyclist, and he was at a stoplight following a car, and he went through the green light. The car that he was following backed up because he saw a car that wasn't stopping. Well, he couldn't react fast enough, so he was T-boned and brain dead instantly. But what I didn't know, what I've learned is when you still have a heartbeat, they'll intubate you, right? And life flight you to the hospital. And so that's what happened with him. I don't know how much more you want to know about that one.
Well, that is just so tragic. The blessing was that it was instant, right? But it wasn't.
I don't know what hit him. I'm so grateful for. Yeah. He didn't suffer at all.
No. And you know what? You shared with me that he had a premonition of this happen.
He did 2 weeks prior to his death. He was, his birthday was in June and he died May 5th. And he said, and he was going to be 56. And he goes, Kath, I can't imagine being more than 55 years old. So if for some reason I'm in an accident and I'm on life support, take me off. I know where I'm going. He told me what he wanted his funeral to look like, his everything. So that's why it was a little easier for me to get all that done so quickly, because I didn't have to guess, because I knew and I didn't realize it, because when he said it, I said, oh yeah, nope, I know, right? And then when it happened, I'm like, oh no. He did know, somehow he knew. I don't think he really knew, but I had no idea that was gonna really be that in 2 weeks happen.
It's just unbelievable how we have these premonitions and we know, right? It's just crazy. Yeah. Well, okay. So then when you were, I mean, I can't even imagine, right? This came out of nowhere. It was instant. It was sudden. You were happily married and together for, basically your whole life. And so what happened to you? What was the experience like for you going through your grief process?
First and foremost, I have a relationship with God. So the first thing I did after I left the hospital that day, because my 2 girls were flying in, they were in college, and they're both flying home because they thought their dad was just injured. They didn't know he was gone. I was not going to say anything over the phone. So I'm like, God, I am not doing this without you. You are going to lead and guide me throughout this whole process. So that really helped me, but you still have the days that you just are like gut curdling cry and you just don't want to do anything. But God knew, and for some reason, a month before George died, I happened to be blessed with a miniature horse, and he was only a year old. And even George goes, don't you know God sent you up for your ministry? I'm like, yeah, but I had no idea how extensive it would be, right? Because I knew I always wanted to do therapy with the miniature horse, but I didn't know what type of therapy, right? Well, God made that very well known, what kind. And then after George died 2 weeks later, my girlfriend goes, so I had a chocolate lab that was, when George did not come home, she plummeted. And we found out that she had cancer, and when he didn't come home, it just accelerated. And I'm like, oh no, my girls can't go through another loss. I already knew something was up with Snickers, but I didn't know. So another gal calls me and she goes, you wanted a mini Australian Shepherd, right? I said, yeah, I want a black tri, and that's black, white, and brown. And she goes, I found him, and you need to see him by Sunday. And I'm like, I don't know that I can do that yet. I mean, Snickers is not gone, and I'm like, I can't replace her with her here. And she goes, the gal has to talk to you. She knows your story. Please go see him. So the girls and I went to see him, and she goes, do you think this dog, because he was the last dog, right? And I'm like, well, why is he the last dog? And she goes, he's a special one. I was going to keep him. And what happened was she just all of a sudden got a scholarship for her PhD in therapy. And she was keeping him because he was her favorite. She goes, he's actually pick of the litter. I heard your story. I know you wanted to do pet therapy and he'd be perfect for it. So here's your dog. And I'm like, but can you keep him until Snickers goes? He goes, nope. Snickers will either be released to die or he will bring her life. Mm-hmm. So for the first 2 days, they just loved on each other and they were so cute. And then I saw it. She was released. And then I was waiting for my youngest daughter, she really blamed me for not allowing her to have a decision about her dad, although I really couldn't. I mean, I had no choice. I mean, he was going with or without me pulling the life support. Yeah. He was already, they said, without or with life support, he's going. All of his vitals are plummeting. So he had already made that choice for me, really. I didn't really have to pull anything. But she didn't like that. So she felt she had some say with Snickers, right? And I'm like, okay. And then it wasn't till she saw that, okay, she's not doing well. But I just couldn't do that to her. So Snickers probably lasted a week longer than she probably should have. I mean, I saw it, but she didn't. So anyway, so then so.
Wow. So you have Zebby, the miniature horse, and then you have Theo, the mini Australian Shepherd. Okay. So what happens now? They breathe life into you because now you got to care for them and love on them, right?
Oh yeah. So, yeah. Oh, they were my therapy, right?
Yeah.
And for me to teach them to be therapy dogs and horse, they didn't really need. I mean, I did train them, of course, but they didn't need. They already had everything it took with regards to their personality and their disposition to be a therapy animal. And then when they're so little, experience it. You have to experience my daughters and me and comfort us and get us through that. Now it's just second nature to them. They go right up to people and just snuggle up and know when they need help.
Yeah. So when did you actually start using them as therapy animals for other people?
Right. No. So, okay. So they have to be registered, right? They have to go through training. They have to, so like Zebby being equine, he has to go through every 2 years an hour's worth of intense testing, right? So I have to take him, like he's going into a hospital. He has to go into really small quarters. He can't move. He's supposed to back out perfectly straight. Just because there's so many cords there, they can't have him moving suddenly, right? So, and then they drop stuff in back of him. They try and spook him. They see how he is with people. They see how I am, because we are a team. And so people judge me just as much as they judge my horse and my dog as to, do I talk to him? Do I engage? Right? So, Zebby was 3. And he was the highest ranking mini that they had ever had. So he could go anywhere in the country with no supervision. And that means I could go in with him with no nurses, no anybody, no admin around, which was pretty cool. And then Theo was 2. I think Theo was 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what's been, as you're doing this, you and I met, you found out about me how? Do you remember?
Yes, okay, so I'll preface this with, I always knew God wanted me to teach on trauma and loss, grieving process, because we don't grieve well. We've never been taught. We've never been taught how to grieve well. Other countries grieve way better than the American people do.
Yes.
Right? So they celebrate. They don't, that's how I knew. I'm like, oh boy, that's what I'm going to be doing with my minis. So I've had many different clients come to me with different things, and it's really interesting how the horse and my dog know. For instance, I had one boy who was very depressed, somewhat suicidal, and his family goes, can we celebrate his birthday with your horse? And so they came to the ranch, and I said, okay, so I put him in this round pen, so it's so big, and then I put them in a line, and I said, Zebby's going to know who needs him the most, right? And so I take Zebby off his lead, and Zebby goes through every person and stops right at the boy. And they're like, but I want him to stop by me. And I'm like, but he knows who's here for him. He knows. He just has the sense, right? So I just enjoy seeing the smiles and hope come back on the people who are that are having issues, that are in these challenging transitions that they're just stuck in, and they don't know how to embrace life anymore.
Right. Oh my gosh, that is so good. All right. Well, let's talk about your TV show, because it's really amazing. It's so beautiful. Hey team, can we show the graphic for the show? It's called Embracing Life Again. And then what's your tagline on there? Inspiration for every transition. Inspiration for every transition. So it doesn't matter what the transition is. This show is for you. And I know it's you recently launched. I know I watched your introduction pilot episode of you telling everyone who you are. I know you pulled me right in. I was crying. I was feeling all of it, and I was so inspired. So tell people what they can expect by watching the show. So I will go through any and all transitions, right? So it can be losing a loved one, losing a job, losing
What else? I will have,
any
divorce.
transitions.
Yeah, any
Yeah,
transition. It could be divorce. It could be anything. For
loss of
instance,
any kind.
the what?
I said loss of any kind.
Any kind, and or like I had,
Change.
it's just change, and it's just change, and then so that's will be individual shows, or I'll be on location, talking to people, having conversation, and then 10 minutes after my show, I will have footage of Zebby and Theo working or meeting people, and just showing what they do as therapy animals.
Yeah. Yeah, which I've seen. So that's really one of the most exciting things about the show. I mean, the show is great, and
Well,
what the
I
work that you're doing. Well,
they're cuter than I am, so yes, they're
well, they are sure cute. That is for sure.
yeah.
But what's so fascinating, anyone who's watching this or listening to this, is how people respond and how really therapeutic and healing these animals are. And they are therapy. They are therapists, and animals are therapy. And what I love about animals in general, and especially these two animals, is
Mm-hmm.
their unconditional love, right? Their ability to sense pain, and how they create, calmness and comfort for other people. And it's so interesting, Catherine, because before I met you, about this last year, I have been getting this pull towards horses. Like I need to be around horses. I want a horse. Right? I want a horse. I feel like a little kid saying that, but all of a sudden it's something. It's way more than a dog or a pet. I definitely am feeling animals. I'm feeling like ranch life almost, in a way, and I was born in New York. I lived in New York, LA, and Chicago. I've been a city girl my whole life. Where is this coming from? But I think there's something to this with people, and I love that you are bringing awareness to this, both locally there with whom you're serving, and anyone who can make an appointment with Catherine and fly out and see her too. And I highly suggest that you do that. But now globally through your TV show, where people who can't quite get to you can still have the healing experience, which is so wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
good. Yeah. So, all right. So you have, you, when you first came to me, you said, I don't dream anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I don't really know what it's like to dream. You knew you wanted to do something, and now you're dreaming bigger than ever, right? What is
It's
that?
way
What does that
beyond
feel
what I thought it was going to be. I never thought I'd be doing this, that's for sure.
Yeah. And so now that you're doing this, you took a very brave leap to do this, and you've been doing it scared, but you've been doing it every step of the way. It gives me goosebumps. I'm so honored to watch the the blooming of this flower that you are in the world. And you said to me, I'm dreaming so much that I'm dreaming so much that I want to help other people dream. And and you've got some work on a course that you're creating that you're going to be able to help people. And you've got a free gift for them that's coming and all of that. So we'll give information on how to find you, for people to find you at the end of the show. What do you feel like, for people who are struggling out there, what advice do you want to give them to help them overcome what they might be going through? What might be like one or two of the initial first steps that they would take?
Um, I'll tell you the one step that helped me the most of getting out of the negativity. When you're grieving, you are negative. I mean, because I'll never have this. I'll never do that. And then in my spirit, I'm hearing God saying, I'm tired of you telling me what you won't have. Will you please thank me for what you did have, and then thank me for what you're going to have? And I'm like, oh. So now one of the first things I tell my clients is, okay, so when you say, we were just going to retire and now I'll never do this, I want you to go back. When you're thinking of the person that you've lost, I want you to go back and say, thank you for a time that you're thinking about, right? So thank God for the vacations you've had, or the time you had, or if you're remembering something and it's making you sad because you don't think you're going to have that, you thank God for experiencing that and having that. And then you thank Him for what you do want. Now, you may not be in a space where you know what you want yet, right? But thanking Him for what you did have and the moments you did have and the things that happened with that person that you were with is so significant, because a lot of my clients are like, wow, that's a game changer. Because they're like, it just shifts your perspective, right? And that way it's just a little easier every day. If you just start with, and if you're like, I have nothing to be thankful for, well, be thankful that you have a bed that you don't want to get out of. Be thankful for the warm shower. It could be little things. It doesn't have to be anything big to start. It will grow. So then you have the thankful heart, and then you'll see things change.
Catherine, that is one of the most profound things I've ever heard in all my life, and
Really?
all the studying
Oh my goodness. I have lots of those things.
I have never heard somebody say, God said to me, thank me for what you did have and what you're going to have. I've never heard that.
Really?
I got goosebumps when you said it.
Yeah.
Yes. It is a game changer. People, right? That is a writer downer. That is so good.
Yeah.
And it's so true, because we've definitely heard the expression, we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone, right? And it's about appreciating everything at all times, in the present moment, Yeah. All right. So that was so profound. So tell us, what else do you want people to understand about, the healing effects of pet therapy? What are some of the emotional, physical, psychological? Now, I know you're not a doctor, but I know you're trained, you're ministers. So what are some of those positive effects that you have seen yourself, experienced yourself, and seen others experience through equine and pet therapy?
Right. Well, one of the biggest things it does is if it reduces horses, dogs, animals reduce stress, right?
Yeah.
Even our fingertips, when we pet them, there's something in their hair that calms us. With a horse can hear your heartbeat from 400 feet away, right?
Wow.
And their heartbeat is way lower than ours. So what physically happens is when you get around horses, we automatically change. Our heartbeat changes to more mimic theirs and calm us. And I think that's why horses are considered magical. And I think that's why you're like, I want a horse.
I know.
Because
I don't know what it
there's
is.
something about them, and they're just mystical, right? And they're healers all by themselves. Just petting them, just being around them, because they just have this sense about them, and they can read you.
Oh no. Oh no.
Am I supposed to be scared of? Because they know, you're a little scared, right? And so I usually tell, my clients that are a little scared, okay, just know he will not hurt you at all, and just pretend he's a big dog.
Oh my
I
God.
can do that with Zebby, right? I can't do that with big horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that calms them.
Hmm.
And just so Zebby's like, why are they scared of me? So it just calms them down. And then if they're not okay with the horse, I have my miniature Australian Shepherd that everybody's just like, oh my God, he's so cute. And they just want to
Yes.
cuddle him. And they just bring us,
Yeah.
like you said,
Oh,
the unconditional love, and that I call it smiles and hope.
smiles and hope. I love
Mhm.
that. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So even in COVID, when they weren't sure if a horse or a dog could carry it, and I don't know if you remember that time, but
Yes.
I would go on next door and tell people I have a miniature horse. He's a therapy horse. Just I'll be coming down your neighborhood at a certain time, just because I wanted people to smile. And
Yeah.
and it got Zebby out again, right? They
Yeah.
couldn't touch him at the time, but they so I said, when I come by, when you see me, if you want me to stop, knock on your window or come out the door. And
Yeah.
so many people like, you made my day. That was amazing. And yeah, so it was that I loved doing that. And then it got to, oh, well, you can pet a horse, you can see a dog, right? So then I'd have people line up on their sidewalks. It was like I was a parade. And then I would stop, and then they would be able to pet. And they're just, that was one of the most rewarding experiences I had. And I saw people's demeanor totally change. So I don't know if that helps you know what they can do, because they're amazing.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. All right, Catherine. Well, I have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll find out how people can find out more about you. I ask every one of my guests this question. And so don't worry, I'm not going to throw you or anything, but how do you live the I have today way, which is intentionally in the present moment? And if you could start it with I have today too, and then fill in the blank.
You're lucky that I've been doing Tony Robbins since I was in since 2000. So I have today to be a better me every day and to choose my future of what I want and who I want to show up being. And that's just being the best me I can.
Beautiful. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. And then the other question is, what do you wish more people knew
About, oh,
in general?
I know. Okay. So that even though you're in the midst of a very challenging time, there is joy, there is dreaming, there is hope just around the corner. We just unfortunately have to go through the grieving process, and you don't necessarily get over, right? You have to go through, because you'll never forget that person, you'll never forget that loss, but it's what you do with it that will change your trajectory. And it is
Beautiful.
possible.
It is. It is. You've been an amazing guest, and I'm so honored to have you here and have you be a part of our television network, transforming the lives of so many people. It's just so wonderful. All right. So, Catherine, you've been an absolute amazing guest. I'm so proud and honored to have you on I Have Today TV. You're going to be impacting millions of lives with your incredible work. How can people find out more information about you?
So you can find me on YouTube at Embracing Life Again, or you can go to Facebook at Embracing Life Again, and or you can even email me at info@embracinglifeagain.com.
Wonderful. Oh, this was an amazing, amazing conversation and interview. I mean, I told you, you just shared something with me today that I've never heard before, and I'll never forget that again. That was so powerful. So thank you so much for being here today. And I know I'll be talking to you soon. Everybody make sure that you tune into her show, Embracing Life Again. Thanks, Catherine. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Oh my God, that was an amazing interview with her today, wasn't it? She really touched my heart. And wow, is our mantra meditation going to be good today? They're always good, but yeah, that was so good. So one of the things that we're doing, obviously, and we have been doing, is helping women bring their amazing work, like Catherine is, into the world through the medium of television. So we've trained many, many, many women and men to launch their own TV shows, and some of them have been extended invitations to become hosts on our TV network. And so what I want to share with you is the opportunity for you to find out if maybe TV hosting is right for you. So we have a very easy, fun, free assessment that we offer. That all you need to do is click on the link, answer a few questions to find out if TV hosting is right for you. And the link for that is tvstarhost.com/casting, tvstarhost.com/casting. And so take the free assessment, and what have you got to lose? And maybe you will be like Catherine, who had an experience and many experiences in her life that could have taken her down and out. Honestly, quite honestly. And instead, she's empowered now and she's helping serve others because of it. Could that be you with what you do? We would love to have the conversation with you. So make sure you go to that link and fill out the free assessment. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to end the show like we always do with our mantra meditation. And this is our way to anchor in everything that we talked about today with Catherine and in our amazing topic that we did, which is surprising, beautiful ways to embrace life again. So what I want you to do, unless you're driving, everybody else, just stop what you're doing. I'm going to ask you to pause whatever's going on right now and just give me like 2 or 3 minutes. And I promise you, you're going to feel better at the end than you did at the beginning with this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rounds of breath. The first breath goes in through your nose, pull it all the way down to your tailbone and hold it there. That's your root chakra. And we're going to count to 8. And as we're counting to 8, I want you to, with each count, each number, 1, 2, 3, 4, is send light and energy to your chakras. So we have our root, our sacral, our solar plexus, our heart, our throat, our third eye, our crown, and our soul star, which is about a foot above our head, which is a very important one because it's the way we receive our information. We don't think, we receive information. So we want to send energy to clear away any karmic residue that's there, all right? So once we count to 8 and light them up, then we're going to breathe out for 8 like you're blowing out birthday candles. I want you to force any trap, trauma, negative emotion, wounds, memories from your past that might be sitting in your body. I want you to breathe them out. And I always imagine that's like smoky, sooty, like fire chimney smoke. Like get it out, get it out. We're going to do that 2 times. Don't worry, I'm going to walk you through it as we're doing it. If I gave you a lot of instruction there. And then you are going to feel so good. Just keep your eyes closed and listen to my words. Okay? So feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your lap. If you're feeling grounded, you can keep them face down. If you want to receive more energy, just flip them up, palms up. Keep those eyes closed. And here we go. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold it and send energy to your chakras at the count of 8. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blow it out for 8 seconds like birthday candles. Oh, you should have nothing left and feel like a deflated balloon. Keep those eyes closed. Get ready. We're going to do it again. Breathe in for 4 through your nose. Pull it all the way down to your root chakra. And here we go, counting Send light and energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blow it out. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small, I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to embrace life again. That I can see all the beautiful, surprising ways there is to honor this life that I've been given. That there are really no accidents and no mistakes. That we're being divinely guided. And there are the little signs all around us. And that God wants us to thank him for everything that he's ever done for us, as well as everything else he's got planned for us. And that we can tap into the resources that are available to us, like the love of animals, through equine and pet therapy, and any modalities that can resonate with me and heal my heart and soul, and allow me to know that I am okay, and that my life has meaning and purpose, and that it's not what happens to me. I'm allowed to have my grieving experiences and my transitions be whatever they look like, but know that I'm worthy and deserving, and I have the choice and the power on how I want to move forward. And when I'm having a bad day, it's okay to have a bad day. And when I'm feeling inspired, I'm going to use my life to serve others, because it truly is one of the most special, surprising, healing things in the world, is to take my life and use what's happened to me and what I've learned along the way and gift it to others. And so from today and this day forward, I am going to live my life with knowing how much God loves me and how supported I am, how worthy I am, how deserving I am, how powerful I am, and how loving I am, because I am so loved, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank my guest, Catherine Kaufer, for being here. Please check out her show, Embracing Life Again. It is on the E360 television network on I Have Today TV. And thank you for being here. Again, if you're new here, thank you. Please, you are welcome back. And for those of you who've been before, keep coming. We love you so much. You can find me at DianeForster.com, and I Have Today with Diane Forster everywhere. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.